Diving is full of challenges, but one of the most daunting is encountering a shark up close. The worst part is when a shark breaches the protective cage and gets dangerously close to the diver inside. In this video, I will show you the most terrifying moments when a shark managed to break into a diver's cage. Join me and let's see what happened. Close encounters. Craig Capehart is an experienced diver who had a close encounter with a great white shark while shark cage diving a few years ago. It happened off the coast of Guadalupe Island, which is known for such incidents. The shark rammed into the cage at full speed, managing to stick its head almost completely between the bars. Craig and the other divers took the right action by swimming back in time, so the shark didn't hurt them. Although the predator persisted in trying to attack, it eventually got out of the cage and swam away. Interestingly, the same shark had already tried to attack Craig in the same place some time before, and they had quite a feud, which explains why the predator headed for the cage so quickly. It's worth noting that sharks breaking into divers' cages are not the only danger that divers face. There are other creepy things and scary creatures that they have to deal with as well. Stay tuned for more scary diver moments that are sure to impress you. Guadalupe Island. Not all sharks break into divers' cages in pursuit of a piece of tuna. Some go after divers on purpose. This video is very revealing. A shark was swimming and out of the blue decided to pounce on a cage of divers. The first attempt was unsuccessful, so the shark repeated the attack. The shark partially broke into the cage but couldn't reach the divers, who cautiously swam back a bit. Luckily for the divers, the distance between the bars was small enough that the shark couldn't get through completely. In addition, the shark sustained a number of injuries after floundering. As you can see, iron bars not only protect the divers, but are also an effective weapon against the sharks. By the way, I forgot to tell you, this video took place off the coast of Guadalupe Island. I told you there are a lot of sharks there. Cage. During his trip to Mexico in 2016, Ming Chen had a thrilling experience of diving with great white sharks. He chose Guadalupe Island for his dive, since it is known for having a high concentration of these toothy creatures. While he was observing a shark swimming near him, others were filming him from the deck. Suddenly, everyone got nervous as the shark attacked the bait, which was a piece of tuna attached to a rope. The calm atmosphere was replaced by chaos when the shark smashed through the cage that held Ming. One of the bars was broken, and Ming found himself face to face with the shark. A crew member quickly opened the top of the cage, but instead of Ming, the injured shark emerged. Later, it was discovered that the shark had bruised itself on the iron bars. After the incident, Ming took about 20 seconds to resurface. He explained that when the shark burst into the cage, it panicked and thrashed around violently. To avoid getting caught in the heat of the moment, Ming swam out through the hole that the shark had made. However, he soon realized that two other large predators were swimming nearby, which made him swim back into the empty cage. He waited for a while and then cautiously rose to the surface. Despite the terrifying experience, Ming didn't sustain any injuries, and he has no intention of giving up shark cage diving. Reptile. What other creatures besides sharks love the water and are extremely dangerous in it? If you're thinking of an alligator, you're right. You probably think that no one in their right mind would go into the body of water where an alligator is, but some divers don't think so. This guy, for example, decided to swim right under the alligator. The diver dove into the body of water, reached the bottom, and started filming the belly of the creepy reptile that was swimming right above him. Notice that there was no cage nearby. For some reason, the alligator didn't attack the diver. Either it was full or didn't even notice the presence of the intruder. Either way, the guy was lucky not to be caught in the jaws of the reptile. Transparent cage. Let's continue talking about sharks and cages for a little bit longer. It's not just off the coast of Guadalupe Island where divers are attacked by sharks. Close to Cape Town, South Africa, there is a popular spot for divers to admire sharks. They dive in completely transparent cages for safety. Unfortunately, during one such dive, a shark attacked a diver and it was caught on camera. The diver enters the cage and descends into the water. Soon after, a group of sharks appears and begins to circle the diver, seeing him as easy prey. One of the sharks even tries to enter the cage. The most tense moment is when the diver manages to push the shark away just in time and is brought back to the surface. It must have been one of the scariest moments of his life. Encounter. And what about encountering a shiver of sharks without any cages? Now that's a truly terrifying experience. It was the experience of a 38-year-old diver from South Africa, Alton Pauly. He and his friends went for a swim to admire the underwater world and wanted to gaze at the black-tipped sharks, which they attracted with bait, but the situation slipped out of control. One of the sharks suddenly pounced on Pauly and swept his scuba mask off him, then ripped out the tube leading to the oxygen tank. Fortunately, the diver was able to keep his composure and, thanks to the help of his friends, promptly put the equipment back in place. It's a good thing that only the equipment suffered and the shark didn't bite Pauly's head. According to the diver himself, the shark just got spooked and crashed into his head in an attempt to swim away. But maybe it just wasn't the shark's day, and it wasn't able to mount a full-fledged attack. Real giant. Did you know that the largest shark in the world is the whale shark? It can grow up to 20 meters in length and weigh several tens of tons. Despite being a non-predator that feeds on plankton, encountering one underwater at a short distance could be quite creepy. This is exactly what happened to some divers in an Indonesian province. While exploring the depths, a huge whale shark suddenly appeared and circled around one of the divers. It looked frightening, as if it was measuring the man to swallow him, but that was just an impression. In fact, it was out of the question. Whale sharks are not even close to being carnivorous. The shark was most likely interested in the air bubbles from the scuba gear instead of the diver. In any case, the moment was not very pleasant for the diver. Statue. It's not just living creatures that can frighten divers. Sometimes even inanimate objects on the bottom of the ocean can be terrifying. For instance, have you heard about the eerie statue of Jason Voorhees in the American Minnesota lake? Even experienced divers can get scared by such a sight. But how did the statue end up there in the first place? Was there something paranormal about it? In reality, the statue was intentionally placed at the bottom of the lake to scare divers. The authors of the statue wanted to create an element of surprise and fear for those who dive in the lake. Although the idea was successful, for some people, it might be a little too much. What do you think? Ghost. Did you know that ghosts can be found not only in abandoned houses, forests, and cemeteries, but also underwater? At least that's what Darren Harris, a diver from the UK, says. Several years ago, the man was scuba diving in the Egyptian city of Hurghada and saw a strange silhouette that formed air bubbles. Darren decided to take a picture of the silhouette, which, when viewing the footage, turned out to be an underwater ghost. The image clearly shows a ghost similar in shape and outline to a large-sized skeleton. Presumably, the frightening silhouette appeared for a brief moment and disappeared because none of the divers nearby noticed it. The British diver says the sight frightened him, although he doesn't believe in ghosts. It scared him. What did Darren actually photograph? Are they just normal bubbles that have taken this shape, or something paranormal and mysterious? What do you think about this ghost, and which moment from this video impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.